it wasn't the greatest game. Like, there wasn't that much effort that was shown on the court.
These t-shirts, whoever told them to do this was a bad move. The WNBA is getting crushed, obliterated.
On July 20th, the WNBA advanced to DEFCON 1, where several All-Stars were suspended for executing the most tone-deaf prank the league has ever witnessed. Indeed, at a nationally televised All-Star game that no one even wanted to watch, they are sporting "Pay Us What You Owe Us" jerseys. The league may formally set itself on fire at this point.
It's an unwatchable All-Star game. It is really bad. There's not a drap or drip of defense in this game.
They come out in the All-Star game wearing "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirt.
The WNBA All-Star Game quickly devolved into a political circus. The league pulled off a stunt so loud that it drowned out everything else at a time when it should have been concentrating on basketball, entertainment, and up-and-coming talent. We are discussing the now famous shirts. Bold letters in black on the front. "Give us the money you owe us." It wasn't nuanced. It wasn't ingenious. It was a direct attack on the owners of the league and possibly the NBA as a whole.
Felt like the players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court.
WNBA players whose salaries are subsidized by the NBA wear t-shirts declaring "Pay us what you owe us."
There were more than one or two players acting erratically. Wearing those shirts, the whole All-Star lineup made an appearance. And behind them, Brittany Sykes held a sign that read, "Pay the players," with pride. There was no moment. The message was organized, cohesive, and headline-ready. And it did, albeit not how they had hoped. It was picked up by Barstool. Breaking 911 did the same. Clown World also participated. You can tell the tide is against you when Clown World reports your protest as breaking news.
What exactly are you owed? You know what I mean? What exactly are the WNBA players owed?
What started out as a showcase for the league's talent turned into a public relations disaster. It was best expressed in one comment. They want YMCA numbers on NBA checks. Accurate, but brutal. The game, if you can call it that, was eclipsed by the shirts in a matter of hours. Since this wasn't a basketball contest, let's face it, there was no defense, no intensity, just players bouncing threes and fours as if it were a warm-up during a 4-point cardio contest.
Nafisa Collier's team was winning by over 20 points at halftime, and I was like, you know what? Like, let's watch Glorilla.
WNBA players whose salaries are subsidized by the NBA wear t-shirts declaring "Pay us what you owe us."
Collier, Nafisa, lost 36 points. That should make headlines, wouldn't it? However, no one took notice. It was that dull of a game. In a glorified scrimmage, she scored more than 30 points without being cut by a single camera. Skylar Diggins even achieved a triple-double. Nothing at all, as no one was observing. Even the most ardent supporters were either angry in the live chat or tuned out.
Because Caitlin Clark is the only player.
What about Caitlin Clark, too? The one guy the league is genuinely profiting from is the biggest name in the sport. She didn't even engage in play. Due to an injury, she was out. Nevertheless, the WNBA continued to use her picture in pre-game promotional materials. Complete bait and switch. Casual viewers tuned in with the expectation of seeing Team Kelsey versus Team Caitlin. However, they received whatever this was instead. Just a t-shirt protest and poor optics. No CC, no competition.
Because as much as I'm disappointed in the effort that was shown on the court, and I do think that this was an opportunity, even with all the CBA negotiations and the shirts that they were wearing, to really prove like, hey, look at this product, look at the ratings that we can get.
The killer is right here. This was no innocuous statement spoken in the locker room. Players could possibly be suspended for this shirt scam. League executives and sponsors were taken by surprise, according to many insiders. Just a surprise protest that fueled already heated CBA negotiations. No coordination, no approvals. It couldn't have come at a worse time.
These players are already getting paid 6 figures plus to only work 4 months out of the year. They're getting paid 6 figures plus to show up at practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, go home and sit on the couch.
Not to mention that these are not sweatshop employees who receive inadequate pay. Even though they only play for 4 months of a year, the majority of WNBA players already earn 6 figures. Last year, the league lost $50 million. Take a moment to process that. A company that loses tens of millions of dollars every year. What is the basis for being told to pay up? Vibes. Fans were not united by this protest. It failed to garner support. It merely supported the criticism that has been made for years. The WNBA is being destroyed from the inside out by entitlement. One comment went viral and said it best. Can we compensate them to leave? In order to keep up with every detail of the 2025 WNBA season, subscribe to the channel.
This backfired from a PR standpoint royally.
As a result, the league is currently in the dark. The sponsors are upset. The owners are tired. The fans have also moved on from what was meant to be the season's high point. A dull game, a pile of anger, and a message that backfired in the most obvious way are all that remain.
How does the math break down? Oh, God.
Let's start with something immediately. These players have plenty of money. Not even close. For a 4-month season, the majority of them are making 6 figures. Give it time to marinate. After 4 months of effort and an hour and a half of practice each day, they are earning the paychecks that most people with 2 degrees and 9-to-5 jobs only dream of. And you know what? Every penny of that salary was funded by the NBA. Yes, exactly. While the league itself loses $40 to $50 million annually, Big Brother NBA has been covering the expenses for more than 20 years. Keeping the lights on.
And I totally get the players feeling like, look, we don't want to go out there and risk our body and expend all of this energy. Obviously, we want to put on a good show and we want to do something that the fans enjoy, but we're kind of stretched a little thin here.
Therefore, when they leave wearing those striking little shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us," people ask, for what precisely? For failing to sell out arenas? For suffering a financial loss? For transforming an all-star game into a horse worship game? The obvious is being asked even by the podcast people. What do you genuinely owe? Since the players theoretically owe the NBA, the owners, and the fans money if we're talking about value and stats. That's how awful the math appears.
USA versus the All-Star team. It was a fairly competitive game. We saw the All-Star team play well, play hard. We got basketball last year, competitive basketball at that, entertaining basketball.
Furthermore, last year wasn't exactly a train wreck. In fact, the 2024 All-Star Game had a strong point. The All-Star team faced Team USA. Real competition, full court pressure, and a little defense. Dimes are being thrown by Caitlin Clark. At the rim, Angel Reese finishes. Fans are getting excited. Although it was basketball, it wasn't flawless. This year,